Welcome, welcome, my brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program, On Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you could pick up your telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. Politics, religion, socioeconomic issues internationally and regionally. We encourage discussion on that program. You don't have to agree with us. You could disagree with me. We encourage people to respect one another's views. Be tolerant. As a democratic country, we must be prepared to discuss issues. We're flying off the bat at the drop of a hat. We disagree with what people say, and we don't want to advance justification or reasons. Even on social media, people ready and quick to call you dumb, stupid, all sorts of dismissive and derogative name because they don't agree with you. The democratic process gives us an opportunity to express our views and opinion. We're not in Iran. We're not in Russia or China where they don't have freedom of the press. In Cuba today, the media is not free. There is a lot of Cubans that will wish they had the opportunity we have to run programs, challenge the government, speak about ills in the society. The Cuban government still have political prisoners. After 60 years, Cuba is still jailing people for their opinion, without charge, without trial, and without an opportunity to defend themselves. We have to guard what we have jealously and preserve it. And we could do that by learning to be tolerant to different views and opinions. The number to call is 442-0175. We are 91.9, 91.5. We on Brooklyn, New York, We Noise, 94.9. And you could put us wherever you want. Share us, subscribe, and like our program, and punch. Yes, scholar, go right ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good day. Yeah. Well, I have to pass a Molyneux Road. And I realized, well, I don't know why the previous cost for that road, for the cave in there. But I think they said that they are for a $12 million overrun, cost overrun. That could never happen. Based on what I see, two pieces of wall on the side of the road with some pile drive down and they deck it. Not to say that full concrete, it deck like I just have you decking a building. That thing could never cost all this money. So I don't know what the previous cost before, but they say it was a $12 million overrun. They're supposed to investigate that. That is serious cause for concern. Take care, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, well, one of the challenge we have with this government, they're not giving information. They say information is based upon need to know. They're hiding from the press. The journalists that they go to seems to be their agents. They're not answering questions in Parliament. If you notice, the Parliament debates are very short. The government have the majority, and the Prime Minister is using the majority. So we have to continue asking questions. We can't give up. We have to continue asking questions. When you are discussing the matter with members of the NDC, if you could get them, because it's difficult to get NDC to hold discussion now. They're hiding. And then they're attacking you personally. But it is important for a democracy and for good governance if the government prepare to provide information. If you don't have nothing to hide, give us the information. So they're not giving information. But we have to continue to hold discussion and encourage people to be tolerant to one another. Don't victimize people. This government of the NDC has introduced restorative justice. And that, in its practicality, in its application on the ground, is political vengeance. I speak out against it because you don't want that to be entrenched in your society. It will affect you for years to come. Every time a new government comes in, they believe they have to get even. And that is not good. Our people are going to suffer. And we are one big family. A lot of relatives and in-laws and brothers and sisters. So when you victimize individuals, you're affecting the very fabric of our society. And I believe people must prepare to discuss the issue. When I say things about the Prime Minister or any ministers, you could call me and ask why you say that. Give me some justification, some reasons. I promise to speak the truth all the time. But we're speaking spontaneous. We don't have a script. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yes, man.
I don't focus this afternoon on the two leaders presently, Honorable Evelyn Pierre, the present political leader of NMP, and the Prime Minister right now. And let us look at how they become leaders of both parties. Remember, before the NDC last convention, you had Mr. Philip Telford as the leader of the party. And what happened now? NDC was broke. They have a lot of debt to pay. Yes, Mr. Telford have some money, but the amount of debt NDC had to pay, Pastor Telford don't have that amount of money. So they get a man that have more money than Telford, a man with deep pocket. And in the convention, they tell Mr. Telford, don't challenge. But they put our next, someone else who they know definitely is a lame dog to challenge the present Prime Minister for the leadership. Right? And they get the leadership. And hardly people in Guyana knows about this present Prime Minister. But election come, he become the leader of the NDC. Yes, the election come and they win the election. And now the Guyana people seeing the character of this present Prime Minister. A Prime Minister never fight and champion the cause of the poor people and people going to compete. He always champion the cause of the business people, them who up and other companies. Let us take a look at Mrs. Pierre. Mrs. Pierre come to the ranks as a youth. She developed herself. Right? She traveled all over the world as a youth ambassador for Grenada Caribbean Matic. She became a senator. Then she became a minister in the next election. She ran against win. She was a minister of youth, a minister of education, and I think and sports. And look at her track record, Mr. Pierre. Compare Mrs. Pierre to the present Prime Minister. In politically, Mr. Pierre, Honorable Pierre did a lot. She achieved a lot, right? And she deserved to be. She worked hard, and she deserved to be a leader because she's a leader. Not only cares for the friends, but she cares about the poor people of Great Caribbean Peter Mat. She cares about everyone. Because let us take a look back at what is so happening, Mr. Francis. Look at the situation. What is so happening with the gangs. Look at what is so happening with gang fighting. What she did, she bring all the gang leaders together, and she bring them together, and the problem was solved. The problem was solved because that's a leader who cares about young people, Look at the situation in education again, development in education. Look at sports and development of young people. Right? A lot of programs that was under her ministry. That what she did to help develop. Could you say that about the present prime minister? No, is the opposite. And what he cares about, his friends up and up with the poor man that and the poor women, especially single parents, who are working for money to try to better and develop their life. What he doing? He making their life more miserable. So I want to say to the NMP, let us keep on focus on what is going on in our country. We have a convention, in Commission Column, we have a leader. Let us rally around our leader. Let us rally our leader and champion the cause of our leader because we know what our leader stands for and she is someone that cares and loves people. So, Pierre, have a blessed.
Thank you, Carla. I'm disappointed that you compare the two. There's no comparison. You shouldn't even attempt to compare the two. There's no comparison between the NDC and the NNP. The NNP has been the most successful political party in Grenada. And have been led by Dr. Keith Mitchell for many decades. A very successful party. And several members of the NNP who do a much better job than Deacon Mitchell and this group. You see, sometimes we have to put emphasis on the policy of the government. The NDC may help a few people, but the intention is never to reach the majority of people. So there's hardly any comparison between Deacon and Emmeline Pierre. The NDC gamble with Deacon and they get a fake. There's no comparison. Perhaps you could speak about the strong points of the new leader of the NNP. But to compare them, you could compare Deacon because he lead the political party. You see what he do in 2 years. You saw the misery that it caused in 2 years. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother.
Well, I wonder if I didn't hear well yesterday. Like I tried to listen for.
I was not on the program yesterday.
Okay, well.
Sorry, I was not able to make it on the program yesterday.
Okay. I'm not really calling on you to say anything, but I personally am calling on the NDC activists to stop it saying things against our new elected political leader.
You don't think the NDC activists should attack your new political leader?
But in what context?
Maybe you better prepare for them to attack your new political leader. You must be able to defend your political leader, but expect them to attack.
I want to say to them, I know there's a friend of Mistress Pierre. Will be the next prime minister of this country. Because she have all the quality of leadership. I could tell you, I was one of the advisors in 2003 who spoke with Dr. Mitchell, and he said he saw something in Emily, that Emily could be a future leader. That's how long it was. I was an employee of the Ministry of the Prime Minister's Ministry, and that statement was uttered. So I don't want them to believe what they're saying is correct. Although I expect them to say things. Mistress Pierre is capable. She have leadership quality. She have love for people. So she have the main attribute of what a leader deserves to have. love for people. She have all the qualities. And I have no doubt that Grenadians will see a new leader in the future of a female prime minister. So just all they have to do is to look on. They wishing her bad, but I know she gonna surprise them. She have God in her. She believe in the great mighty God, and she will make it. They start to spread propaganda now that she's a cover-up. They don't know what to say again.
Color,
Dr. Mitchell,
in all fairness, you've been around long, and the NDC has been very good at propaganda and disinformation. The NNP has not defended the tough well. And I think what you should prepare to do is to defend your tough. But you can't tell NDC don't attack.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I know they will attack.
Yeah, they will attack.
And she expects that.
Of course. She must continue to walk the straight and narrow. And she must never be afraid.
He will step down. But when he mentioned Emily Pierre name, I get happy.
Yeah.
I thank you.
Yes, Colonel. Yes, supporters of NNP, you have to encourage Emmeline Pierre to continue on the path of walking the straight and narrow, and to continue to interact with the people of Grenada and never afraid the press. Don't hide like Deacon. Never afraid the press. And stick with the truth. And worry not. You have it's the first time in Grenada that we have a woman leading a major political party. And there is a good probability, a good chance that she become the prime minister in the next election. We have had a number of women prime ministers. Janet Jagan in Guyana was a political leader and president in Guyana, prime minister. Today we have Mia Motley. In Trinidad you had Kamala. In Dominica you had the Iron Woman. In Bermuda, I believe you had another woman in Bermuda. And Portia Simpson, once led in Jamaica. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
To you. Mr. Pierre, what we hate, that we like. The convention come, we fight against man for them not to be who leader and who leader. Mr. Pierre, you have enough man sense and know a going a vote man. It's time to vote a woman.
So you want woman now?
I want woman now.
No woman.
No man again. The woman rule the thing.
But in all fairness to Grenada have always promoted women. Remember we had the first woman governor.
Yeah.
You know, and then even we had three women. When we had three women running for election in Parliament, I don't believe the other Caribbean islands had that. So Grenada have always promoted the women.
Yeah, man. Mr. Pierre, was time, and it was time. We don't handpick no minister. The people speak for themselves.
Well, I think she ran unopposed.
What you run on?
Unopposed. Nobody opposed any convention.
Nobody opposed nobody?
Right. So that's all right.
Yes.
And I think she will do a good job.
You should proud to be a Pierre and to proud to be have a prime minister With a Pierre.
Oh, we have a big family, you know. Pierre, Peter, Tobias, Thomas, William, Smith, Matthew. Is almost half a Grenada that is with family, you know.
I don't mind. Oh, we in a Pierre. We don't know what you're saying. They're in a Pierre. Right?
Yes.
There is a Pierre. And I
Yeah.
thought we have to be...
And a Pierre is a Zabuka.
And I congratulate Miss Pierre. You check it out? Miss Pierre, we're not looking for one-term government because if we go, they say Kit Mitchell, all who want to come, them and Kit Mitchell are almost same age. So right now, we're there on same term just how Dr. Mitchell run. So we're running government like that. We don't running no one-term government. So I'm proud of Miss Pierre and enjoy the rest of your holiday, Mr. Pierre.
Thank you. Yes, so we have a woman leading the major political party. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Right. First of all, let me congratulate Honorable Emmeline Pierre on her convention election victory and to be the new political leader. For all the years he had, Dr. Mitchell has led this great institution, and we are saying thank you for leading this party and leading our country. Right? And we see you pass the baton to Mrs. Pierre, and we wish her all her best. And we know that fiery dots will send heavy at her, and we know they start already. But let me tell them something. We are prepared to defend Mrs. Pierre tough. We're going to defend our tough strongly. So no matter how you come into negativity, we're going to send it back to you heavy with positivity, and we're going to detect all the lies, and we're going to show all what is facts and what you get mouth open and what jump out. So we're calling on we NNP supporters. Let us educate ourselves politically so we could able to stand against the wiles of NDC dots, what they will throw at us. We know their plot. But we have no fear. So we're going to stand up with her 150%. Mr. Pierre, have a good evening.
Yes, caller, thank you. We have another caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, go right ahead.
How you doing, my brother?
Great man, good man.
Mr. Pierre, this NDC gang what inside. Next term, you ask them to put a cap on the price for the NDC. Otherwise, we may get a Chinese as a prime minister with deep pockets. If they put a cap on the price, and you might be able to buy the party next term. So please ask them to do that. So the party should remain in Grenada, because all they look for is a liar with deep pockets. That's the reason why they end up with what they have. Thank you.
Yes, caller. So it seems as though we're staying on leadership today, and perhaps it might be good to speak about what age, or maybe we should leave this one for another time. But you hear people make a lot of noise about retirement. And I will like to provoke that discussion. At what age individuals should retire from politics and why? We have not had Grenadians that remain long in politics. Eric Gary did 13 and a half years and he was overthrown. He won the 1976 election. He won 9 seats. 3 years after that, he was overthrown in 1979. Maurice Bishop made 4.5 years. Mr. Blaze was the only politician in Grenada that died from natural causes while in office. So we don't have a history of having very old people that become incapacitated in political office. Yet we have heard a hue and cry about resignation. And maybe the time has come for us to discuss at what age you should retire from politics and at what age you should enter politics. Well, if at the age of 18 you could vote, obviously at the age of 18 you perhaps could enter politics. At the age of 21, some insurance companies still don't want you. But what is the problem in Grenada that we get stuck so much on age? Dr. Keith Mitchell and Tillman Thomas is a couple months apart. And we have a lot of politicians that enter politics after 60 years. 60 years is a time of retirement in the public service. When you're 60 years and you are in the public service, you have compulsory retirement. Nurses, medical doctors, teachers, policemen. At what age people should retire from politics? Because it seems that some people in Grenada is making it their lifelong responsibility to attack people on age. We have a democratic process. And you have to go to the polls to be voted in as a parliamentary representative. So why you want to manage the democracy? We cannot be just using words conveniently. I've heard people say, well, they didn't do this thing right. Everybody seems want to manage democracy. You have to go to the polls and people chooses to vote you in. So why you want to tell people that they should resign? I don't agree with that at all. Let the electorate determine who they support and who they don't support. There are rules. People are not incapacitated. They're not sick. They're not senile. They're collective. Yet some people believe they should not be in politics. Why? Yes, scholar.
Mr. Pierre,
Yes, scholar.
these people are them, this election are talking about too old and too old. I see Mr. Biden go and run, and Mr. Biden didn't want to step down. Mr. Biden say he have a work to do. He want to finish his work. So I don't understand why people, it's them, you see people and they want to talk about too old, Dr. Mitchell old, give somebody a chance. What's the chance thing? I don't know if Grenada there on raffle. You didn't see Grenada was on raffle? The raffle Grenada, look at what's going on in Grenada now. Grenada on raffle, Mr. Pierre. So that is when it's them who started. So we tell ourselves now, if they don't want all people who want to come, them and Dr. Mitchell don't fall from edge. So let Miss Morris stay and run as how Dr. Mitchell run. It's not weird say it, you know. NDC say Dr. Mitchell to all. Let a young person go. So look at what the raffle. You see how the raffle go on there now, Mr. Pierre? The raffle Grenada for nothing. We don't get nothing. Only suffer alone, we suffering. And they can't see. And watching them in parliament, they in 40 years, you sit down there, you don't pay pension. Everybody going home without no money, no pension. And they want to put a pension scheme. You cannot be a pension scheme on your own money. When you work, you're supposed to get your own. You don't have to take out people's pay and be a pensioner. Don't reduct your pay and tell you how to be a pensioner. And then when they sit down there, they believe in like stupid Grenadians don't have sense. If the union don't want to stand up and work, you give them $1 more to make it $1,000. And what you do it, you take it out 50, 50, 50. You take it out, you pay NIS, you take out for pension for every year. And what going on? We're going on with. You can't pay light bill and water bill. You can't go and manage your children. Mr. Pierre, come on. What this great people and them playing saying that we don't have sense, we stupid. And I believe some of them are more stupid than us. Mr. Pierre, enjoy it.
Yes, we must have discussion on it. Why are we so working up about old? What age you should be in politics? What is good for the goose is good for the gander. Should people over 60 enter politics? What age? We make so much noise about age. What age you should retire from politics? Should that be a factor? Is that a factor? We want to prevent one man, one vote principle. When it comes to the election, people determine whether they accept you or not. Should blind people run for election? Should incapacitated people run? Should challenged people run? We have permitted a political party to campaign against people based upon age. You can't have two standards. If you believe Dr. Mitchell is too old to go in politics, what happened to Tillman Thomas? What happened to the other members of NDC who are over 60? Should somebody 60 years old prevent it from going to politics? Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes.
I'm not able to stay very long, but there's one point I want to make quickly, and it has to do with something that you were saying, and you kept saying it over and over incorrectly on Monday. And I heard a couple callers call afterwards, I guess, taking your lead and saying the same thing. The word is not thwarted. It's thwarted. T-W-H-A-R-T-E-D. Thwarted, not thwarted. I just thought I should call and make that correction.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Thwarted. It means to go in the path, prevent, handbug, disturb. I think that related to who were those responsible for thwarting the path of leadership of our loving brother Peter. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
I have a few punches to make.
Go right ahead.
I think Miss Emmeline Pierre or the Honorable Emmeline Pierre is going to win based on these facts. Love for people. She's very appealing. A true change to the national public. She's very experienced. She's more woman in Grenada than man. Add to my punches, I think you, Mr. Pierre, Sheldon Scott, and others are the best. Better than Kim Jones and Ryder Long. Thank you. Have a great day, sir.
Yes, scholar, thank you. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Go right ahead, caller.
Yes, the corrected you. I took note of it on the day. I took note of it, and but I couldn't get you that day. And not I would have made an issue about it, but that day WhatsApp was not, Wi-Fi was not on. Yes, Mr. Pierre, a lot to talk about. The strategy that the NDC diehard supporters was trying to use to dishevel the process of the convention. I'm yet to understand how they think such a dumb strategy would have been successful. But the thing is that it was so obvious and blatant that you could see through it. If Peter David had become the head of the NNP party, they would have made mincemeat of Peter David, or they would have tried to whatever, however one want to put it. And they would have been successful to quite an extent. Because the thing is that they has nothing on Emmeline Pierre. The kind of castigation they would have been able to do relative to Peter David, whether they will use his past, his attitude, his behavior, whatever history they could bring up. They don't have that kind of a thing in dealing with Emmeline Pierre. And that's the way they have a problem. I am convinced that they're afraid of Emmeline Pierre. They know Emmeline Pierre could beat Dick Mitchell in and out, day and night, upside down, left, right, and center. Pure and simple. So I never understood why they think that strategy like that would have worked. Didn't make sense. Relative to the issue of the age, Mr. Pierre, I never have a problem with, for example, Kit Mitchell's age. I find it the whole strategy or the whole understanding that they have, is a comparison between age and age, yes. And in that way, those who don't go into deep thinking or making sense of such an issue, they might fall for it, and to an extent they fell for it. But the result is showing up itself every day nowadays. Take a look at the record that Dickon has so far. What has this government done so far? How much initiative and initiation of project that has shown its place in this country since for 2.5 years now? The economy is going down. Look at the situation as it stands right now, this time of the year, how Grenada does look economically. There's not a iota of a picture showing up as customary. And not that I care about this custom, but the thing is that people used to enjoy a certain amount of economic wealth around that time of the year. Traditionally, for all the years, Kit Mitchell and the NNP was in power. That's normal. And people are feeling different nowadays. You hear it every time. You hear people talk on radio relative to the situation as they stand now. Grenadians are not enjoying anything that makes a difference. Mr. Pierre, as much as there's a million one things to talk about, let us get something clear. Leadership has nothing to do with age except if the person is frail. You could be 90 years and all your faculties are working perfectly. You could be 20 years and you have no sense about anything. You could be 40 years, 46, 47, 80 years, and you have no sense about what's going on or how to get things done. And we're seeing it right nowadays. So I don't know what the age issue has to be such a big factor to people. People should need to understand these things and policies and programs that enables our government to function, that enables our country to go forward. Policies and programs in that situation as we have it now.
Yeah.
Putting Grenada backward. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what people understand about this age thing to be a big factor, as though your age, because you're young, you're going to be able to do certain things. Well, look at what happened in the revolution. A bunch of young guys, and the amount of blunder that was made. I'm not saying good things weren't done, but they make more blunder than they did good.
Yeah.
Simple. Take care.
Yes, I think we fail to take on the age issue, and we must take it on. Because otherwise we'll kill voluntarism in the country. A lot of people that retire from the public service. Yes, caller, welcome. A lot of people retire from the public service at 60 years. Some judges, and they go and work to 75 in other countries. Some go on in the United States and operate 10, 15 years. We have been attacking people because they're elderly. And the rippling effect on the ground had a lot of negative consequences. Some elderly people, 80 years old, were beaten in the land. About 4 of them I know of. One of the elderly men in St. Patrick's was damaged badly. He said even the police and all abandoned him. Yes, caller, welcome. We're not hearing you. You have to not listen to the device in the back.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Go right ahead, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, some of the NDC members and supporters want to make people believe that is Dr. the Right Honorable Kit Mitchell and the NMP that suspended the Constitution during the revolutionary time. And NDC was in power many times, and they never do anything about it. It's only Dr. Mitchell and the NMP government that sees fit to interfere and to find some solution for the pension problem. When he called upon the unions to come and sit down with him and they discuss a pension plan, the same NDC people and tell them, no, not to go, we want your money, we go pay your money. Now how they trying to blame Dr. Mitchell and say they inside of 40 years and he never pay pension? Not he that suspended the pension. And NDC government was in power many times and they never touch it. Only Dr. Mitchell had seen fit to rectify the problem. And when he called upon the union never come. So what they getting now, take. Thank you.
Well, the NDC is very good at disinformation. And they sit down in the lab and they plan lies. And I don't think NNP as a policy reacted to the lies and propaganda that they have. But I think we must address those issues. What is the issue with age? The electorate have the opportunity to determine who they want to vote for. And that should be it. And if you're 90 years and the electorate say, I want that person, because I'm confident in that person, that should be it. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, the get before you hear what I'm saying. Already, I could tell you 10 things they can do since he come in office.
Tell me, please. Give me 5.
The 5, he pay the pension, he pay the dog salary. Now we're fixing the pension skill and others.
Give me 5.
You want more still?
You told me 10, I don't want 10. Give me 5.
Well, I get you already.
You give me 2. You pay pension and you deduct salary.
And the dog salary, that's 2, that's 3. And he's fixing the pension skill right now.
And he fixing the pension he pay. That's 3.
Right. We fix the minimum wage. The minimum wage.
Minimum wage, 4.
Right. We increase the people working on the road and the school all about.
But that is minimum wage, same thing.
All right. And right now we're fixing the agriculture system.
What are you doing? What are you doing in agriculture?
We're fixing it.
Aye?
We're fixing it.
You fixing agriculture? So that's 5. You succeed.
Right. I want you know, name me one thing that Emily Pierre did for this country. Name me one.
Emily Pierre don't start to lead yet. She don't start to lead yet.
But she was in the country.
She don't start to lead yet.
And she do nothing.
She don't start to lead yet. Evelyn Pierre don't start to lead yet.
But tell me what did she do?
She don't start to lead yet.
What's she running on?
She entered politics at the age of 25, 26. And before she entered politics, she was involved in youth programs in the prison and other program developing young people. And that is why she was identified as somebody good in social work
So
involved in politics.
That's your biography.
That's 20, and she was successful 20 years.
What? Tell me something she do.
Well, she don't resettle lead yet.
So why she biography?
I don't know that big word. I don't know about that. Thank you, caller.
Okay, my brother.
Thank you. Yeah. I like you say he fixing the pension and he pay the pension. The pension issue is a sad, sad story. I always felt justice was not done in providing information on the pension issue, and a lot of lies was done on it. And even the laws that the government is racing to go in cause in parliament is going to be an albatross around our neck. We have time? A burden. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, my brother.
Pleasant afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah,
and
my
pleasant
brother.
afternoon to your listening audience. Now, Mr. Pierre, I want to get to my point quickly, but today, from Granlet in the Laflet area, my cousin will be buried today, Mr. Richard Paligri Loha.
Yeah.
And I just want to extend my sympathy to his family, which is also my family. May his soul rest in peace today. Now, Mr. Pierre, listen to this. I have two quick points here. One, the convention. And I want to hear your take on it. The reason why I want to hear your take, because the explanation you give when you accuse the Prime Minister of being a poor people terrorist, I accept that based on the explanation you give. And the other negative name, so to speak, that you would have put the Prime Minister in the same category, I also respect that. Now, the question I'm asking you, before I get to my one or two quick points is this. Based on the NNP convention, the position was vacated by the opposition leader, Dr. Keith Mitchell. They accepted two persons' names, Dr. Peter David and Miss Emmeline Pierre. These are the two names that they accepted as vying for the leadership of the party. Mr. Pierre, the delegates that was chosen, forget regardless of how they was chosen. I have gone past that. The question I'm asking you, if these two delegates have to vote for the two persons that will be vying for the leadership of the party, the question I'm asking you, Mr. Francis Pierre, should the name of the delegates be made available to the two candidates, so to speak, involved, so they should have made the pitch to the delegates, regardless of how the party think or whatever? Should they have the opportunity to make the pitch to the delegates, and as a result of that, the delegates would have been in a position to choose for either Miss Emmeline Pierre or Mr. Peter David. And if that was not made, if the delegates was not made available to none of the candidates are trying to figure out, Mr. Francis Pierre, who the delegates is going and vote for when there is two NNP individuals contesting the leadership. That's one point. Mr. Pierre, listen to this. Do you know why I have supported the NDC and the NNP over the years? None of them have conformed to my kind of politics. Why? Let me tell you why. Education in Grenada should be free with some serious clauses. We're going to educate you. Well, I'm not sure if I'm in a position to say up to university, but maybe that's a possibility. Educate you up to that level. But at the same time, when you get that education, you cannot just run out to the so-called capitalist countries, are making a whole set of money with no reciprocate benefits coming back to the country in terms of educating other people that educating other people in whereby to make sure that other people have the same opportunity like you have. So I believe education could be free. And at the same time, Mr. Pierre, secondary school education, secondary school students, they should be able to fulfilling certain hours of duties in the Kajona home, in the general hospital, in Maribo Hospital, because your education is free. And that is a way of you giving back to the country. The last but not least, Mr. Pierre, based on what transpired in the convention, I'm NNP. Nobody can tell me I'm not NNP. I am NNP. But based on what transpired, I am calling on Mr. Peter David to form his own political organization. And as a result of that, those in the NNP that thinking differently, they will realize how flawed the process was, and as a result of that, they would also realize that if the process was democratic, if the process was fair and square, and Ms. Emmeline Pierre was elected leader of the party, I have no problem with that. I will support Ms. Pierre 100%. But the fact that the process was unfair, I call it unfair, because Mr. Pierre, if two persons running for the leadership of something, and the people who supposed to vote for one of these individuals, if these individuals don't know who the delegates are, and they don't have no access to the delegates to make their pitch, Mr. Pierre, in 2024, this is very disrespectful to our intelligence, and it borders on fraud, it borders on unfairness, it borders on theft, and it borders on all the things that goes against the spirit of democracy. Mr. Pierre, have a pleasure.
Yes, you made, yeah.
Thank you.
I'll take a minute because I want to respond to the 3 points you make. The second one, I agree with you totally. We must educate people up to national college. Put them on a bond for 20 years. If they have to leave the country to go to another country, we blacklist them, or it have to be a decision of parliament to get a pass for X period of time. When I educate you, I put you on a bond for 20 years. You get free education up to national college. Anything after that, anything after national college, you're on a bond for 20 years. You will be blacklisted. And I agree that you must do community activities as a result of your education process since you start in primary school. The last point you make, I do not support Peter David to leave the party. Peter David should stay in NNP. All the political parties in Grenada seems to have too much a degree of managed democracy. So it is a good thing now for Peter David to put a procedure in place, promote, suggest, lobby to strengthen the NNP constitution so that things will be put in place so there will be less irregularities. If you could consider what was done, you thought it was not fair. Because NNP is still the most democratic political party in Grenada. But obviously, some of the procedures need to improve. The fact that Peter David withdrew from the election it meant that Emmeline Pierre was appointed unopposed. Perhaps he should have gone there, got the appointment, nominated, and then point out the irregularities and say, based upon that, I'll stand down and challenge it. But he did not go. So it is a good opportunity now for Peter David to strengthen the NNP by coming up with procedures that should be enacted in the Constitution to strengthen that great party. Parties are not perfect. They're going to make mistakes. And I following parties' election in the Caribbean, there is a lot of managed democracy in it. They manage the democracy. What is the procedure for choosing delegates? It must be clear. There must be no ambiguity. It must be very clear. When you speak to people, and I have never been in any political party in Grenada, but when you speak to people who have been delegate, they don't even know how they become delegate. It seems they were selected. So that is a procedure that is chronic in all the political parties. So here is an opportunity for Peter David to suggest to improve the procedures and strengthen the NNP party. So those procedures, the manner in which we choose delegates, must be clear in the future. That's how organization has strengthened. We see the blunders and the mistakes that are made, and we improve it. Particularly when you feel aggrieved by it. But I don't think Peter David wants to lead political parties. I really don't believe he really wants to lead political party. He is not hungry for leadership. Peter David is an individual that everybody in Grenada loves. But he loves everybody. And as a result of that, I think deep down, he prefers not to be leader. But everybody pushing him to lead. Leadership is not for everybody. Brian Lara was a good cricketer, but a bad leader. Peter David himself is not hungry for leadership. It appears that people is pushing Peter to lead because Peter loves everybody. And maybe Peter took the right choice. He made the right decision. I'm not no part of no conflict. I don't really want leadership. I ain't hungry for it. So perhaps it's a good thing now for Peter to suggest, let us improve the procedure in place for election and delegates and strengthen the NNP. I think NNP have a lot of love for Peter, and Peter will function the best in NNP. But selecting an next party, Peter David do not want to lead political parties. Not everybody want to lead. He is a nice, good, generous person. But that doesn't mean he's a leader. And the NDC maybe was pushing Peter because they believed they could take an advantage on Peter as a leader. And we end here today, and we're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1, and you have another opportunity to punch on any subject matter. Thank you very much.